What is up, everybody? This is Peyton Anderson back again with Next Level Athletes. My guest on the podcast today is Zain Zinicola. Zain, a Colorado native growing up, looks to continue to solidify himself as an athlete both on the field as well as on the baseball diamond at Northern Colorado. First off, thank you, Zain, for taking the time today to sit down for an interview.
Of course, thanks for having me.
Course. And starting with your recruitment process out of high school, was there anything about the recruitment process as a whole that surprised you, or anything you didn't expect to see or hear going into it?
One thing that surprised me is how much camps mattered, just getting exposure,
Mm-hmm.
just getting your name out there and really just kind of showing the colleges what you have. That really shocked me. I didn't go to a lot. Me and my parents kind of just thought play the game right and doors will open. But I think that's one of the things that I would note going back whenever I have kids, just camps are big.
Mm-hmm. And additionally, talk us through what ultimately led you to make the decision to commit to play for Northern Colorado.
Yeah, so at the end of my high school career, that was the only offer I had fully. I had a preferred walk on to Boulder, CU Boulder.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was my only offer. Coach McCaffrey, uh, who was here, but he was my coach in
Yeah.
high school as well. So I called him and I was like, I need some help getting somewhere. Can you call them? Because I was talking to the old staff pretty heavy. And he
Mm-hmm.
called them and then he called me back and he was like, they offered me the head job and I'm going to offer you a scholarship. So it was pretty easy
Yeah.
to come here and it was close to home. So
And additionally, throughout the recruitment process, what do you learn most about yourself as an athlete and individual?
I think you kind of find out how much you value yourself. You kind of understand like your confidence. It can kind of hinder it. Definitely trying to
Mm-hmm.
talk to a lot of coaches if you're my size, I guess. It's just trusting the process and believing in yourself. I think it builds a lot of confidence if you keep pushing.
Mm-hmm. And how would you advise people to like get their name out there? Would you say camps is what you're saying, or just kind of something else? What would you say?
I think camps are a little part of it, but I really think it's just branding yourself, emailing these schools, like you personally reaching out. I didn't do that as much. I just kind of let it ride, and I wish I would have done that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's just getting your name out there, talking to these people, having
Getting
the right
their name
grades.
early on, getting it out
Yeah,
there early on, then waiting, of course.
absolutely.
And taking a step back and revisiting your high school days, you're a multi-sport athlete in football and baseball. First off, what would you say was your all-time favorite memory or memories on the football field and the baseball diamond?
For football, definitely I would say my junior year, the state championship game was awesome. That was one of the best feelings ever. And for baseball, is also my junior year. We went down to Arizona and had a week-long tournament, and it was just a blast. It was the best time of my life.
Was it? I bet it was really hot there, though.
Yeah, yeah, it was on
Yeah,
spring break, so it was fun. We
that
got to
dry
go,
heat,
yeah,
dry heat.
we got to
So
go
I
through
was
all
there
the,
once.
yeah, it's pretty warm out there for sure.
Hmm. And on top of this, what would you say you miss most about being in high school, looking back on it?
Sorry, would you repeat that one more time?
What would you say you miss most about being in high school, looking back on it?
Oh, absolutely just the resources I had around me. My high school was awesome. I had a lot of good people with a lot of good goals around. So I just miss having the right people around all the time, you know?
Hmm. And well, on the subject of high school, you went to Valor Christian High School in Highlands Ranch, Colorado. For those unfamiliar with the school, how would you describe what the experience was like for you personally, both academically and athletics wise? But also what something about the school you found interesting or kind of unique looking back on it.
Yeah. Academically, it was definitely a challenge. It's a prep school, so I went
Oh
to
yeah.
public school my whole life. So going into there, I felt kind of unprepared,
Hmm.
but I felt like I grew a lot in the classroom all 4 years. It was definitely a challenge, but I think it was for the best.
Hmm.
And athletics is top notch everything. So it was just hard work all 4 years. It was just a great experience. And
Hmm.
one thing I found interesting is because it's a Christian school,
Yeah.
You got to have your Bible classes. But what I
Mm-hmm.
thought was cool is they're not just talking about praying or stuff like that. They really had like history classes about the Bible. It was really like a scholar
Yeah.
class, and I thought it was awesome. I had a great time doing that.
Would you say, how would you say that kind of being in like do you say Christian, was it? Or,
Yeah, yes,
yeah.
sir.
What about being in a Christian school? Because I grew up in a Christian school as well, kind of back in middle school. And it was like the things that you were saying. What did that do for you personally and like your mindset and kind of like your outlook on life? Did it change at all?
I think it definitely helped. It helped me ground myself because, a lot of people say they're Christian and then don't understand the Bible. I felt like I went in there pretty open-minded
Mm-hmm.
and I really got to dive deep in the knowledge. And I felt like that really helped me. I feel a lot more confident in my faith, and it's been really a key part to my life and sports and everything. It's just all around, I feel pretty grounded there.
Of course. And transitioning over into college, you saw yourself enrolled in 2020, but the team didn't play that fall due to COVID. First off, what did you learn most about yourself as an athlete and individual from that year alone?
I would say uh, you don't need people to watch you to work. I found everything was shut down, and you really got to
Mm-hmm.
see who the hard workers are behind the scenes. I think that was just really, you had to dig deep there. It was a pretty rough time, so it was just learning how to work hard for myself, really.
Mm-hmm. And while on the subject, what was most difficult about 2020? You said with COVID and saying things were shut down, and as well as like what you were and weren't able to do, and just trying to keep yourself busy every day and just kind of being able to improve your game, but not being able to play in actual games. Like what did you do during that time to try and keep busy?
Yeah, I had pretty good people around me. I've always had my trainer, Uncle Black, always there for me. So I was always working out there. Obviously, we still had school. It was just online. So that was a little rough, but I felt
Yeah.
like I was able to occupy myself just because I had just so many things to do.
Mm-hmm. And additionally, what was the biggest lesson you took away from that year?
I would say, just going back to what I said before, just you don't need people to watch you to work hard. And I think
Mm-hmm.
people who really succeed and go far in this game and sports, it's the people who work behind the scenes and who don't need the credit. That's what I took away from COVID for sure.
Mm-hmm. And moving into 2021, you saw yourself playing 4 games with 1 reception for 7 yards against Colorado, as well as redshirting that year. What about that season in particular? Did you learn the most when it came to the college game, but also what the experience was like appearing in your first ever collegiate game?
It was awesome. That was just a dream come true because that was right after they just opened up the stadium for CU
Mm-hmm.
and they packed it out. It was a full stadium. I remember running out and I could feel like my chest vibrate because everyone was jumping up and down. It was
Yeah.
awesome. And I think really what I took away from it is they're a Pac-12 team, and I kind of got to see the speed, the size, the strength, and I kind of took a note. I was like, when I go into this off season, don't forget that. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to get better, but it was just awesome, and I think I gained a lot of confidence from that year as well because I found out that I can play at this level, which really gave me a lot of hope. And
Mm-hmm.
then I just learned that there's that next level I got to get to, which was awesome.
Yeah. And before I forget, I want to ask, um, what were the first few days like when you got to campus? Like your first year, your first couple of days there, moving in. What was your mindset going in? Were you calling your parents right after it? That's what I did. I slept on the floor the couple of nights because my bed was too high to the ceiling, and I didn't want to do anything about it until a week later. But I mean, what was what was it like for you
Yeah,
being on your own?
it was a little different just because it was still shut down from COVID. So the football guys, the incoming freshmen, were the only people on campus at the time, and I
Mhm.
had a really good class. So I was good friends with everyone. It was still pretty fun, but No, it's definitely hard to get used to for the first couple of days. I was always calling my mom and stuff, but I just
Yeah.
came with the mindset that I'm there to work, and I have a goal and I'm just going to keep working towards that. And I think that helped me a lot. It just kind of comforted me
Hmm.
when it was new stuff, you get used to
Yeah.
it.
And looking into this past season in particular, you saw yourself emerge as a big piece and contribution to the team's offense with 37 receptions, 381 yards, and a long of 67. What did you think went well for you personally, but also how you felt the season played out as a whole?
I think I gained a lot of confidence in myself last season. I just trusted all the work that I put in was going to pay off. And it really did. I feel comfortable. I feel like I kind of understand the game speed now. And that's a huge step for me personally, because that was my first season.
Yeah.
And one thing I kind of took away, because the first game I injured my MCL.
Hmm.
So after this season, I kind of evaluated and I was like, I need to just find a way to be healthy. And that's my biggest piece, is just going into this year knowing that I need to play every single game.
Hmm. And I think you already, I mean, what are you most looking to improve on and develop regarding your overall game and skill set? But also talk about your approach and your mindset towards your training and preparation. Is it this what you've been saying, just trying to keep healthy, or is there other components of it that you really want to add to your game?
Yeah, definitely. First goal is find a way to be healthy. And two, I just want to obviously keep putting on size, keep putting on muscle. Um, in the future, the weight's gonna be helpful. So just keep getting stronger, keep getting my numbers up, and I think everything will fall into place really.
Mm-hmm. And on top of football, you also play infield for the school's baseball team. Is that correct? I was trying to find a
Yep.
position. I couldn't
Yeah.
find it. I didn't want to single one out, so I just put infield. First off, talk about how that opportunity even came into existence, but also what being a multi-sport athlete has taught you the most already in your time in Northern Colorado.
Yeah. So I think it's taught me a lot because baseball and football are so different. Is
Yeah.
baseball has really kind of taught me to just keep even, because it's a game of failure. It's building a lot of character for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I've been out of the game for a while. I haven't played a full season since my junior year of high school.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of always knew I wanted to play up here, just because my baseball background is really strong. My family loves baseball. I've played for since I could
Yeah.
remember, but I was just kind of relaxing after the season, and I was laying down and I get a call from
Yeah.
Coach Anderson, the new coach. And he was just like, "How would you like to come out and just give it a
Yeah.
chance?"
Do you want
And
to try out for the baseball team?
yeah, and he knew my high school baseball coach from Valor,
Mm-hmm.
and they kind of talked a little bit, and rest is history. Now I'm on the team.
Mm-hmm. And additionally, you've seen other guys in the sport and past athletes do what you're doing, like John Reese Plumley, Kyler Murray, and also your football coordinators. I can't remember who they are, but what did what did you learn most kind of from the football coordinators, but also how you do you draw any inspiration from the other those other guys, or I mean, what does it mean to you?
Um, I watch a lot of Bo Jackson highlights. I draw a lot of
Mm-hmm.
inspiration because it is hard. It gets hard sometimes, and I feel like I'm the only one doing it. But at the end of the day, there's a bunch of people who've done it, and I just try and take notes, see how they did it. To be honest, it's not easy, but I think it's been awesome. I watched Bo Jackson, some Deion Sanders, even though he's at
Mm-hmm.
Boulder now.
Yeah, but secondly, what do you think's the biggest benefit and advantage for you being a multi-sport athlete? But also you've spoke already about the difficulty about adjusting to each sport. What do you think the biggest difference is between the two sports? Is it the is it the time, like the downtime you have between each kind of pitch? compared to football where you're constantly getting in a call? Or, I mean, what would you say?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just time. Football is you have all week to prepare for one game, and you could sit back, analyze everything, and take it into the next. Baseball is we're playing Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then we go play Tuesday. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
just always it keeps going, and you just kind of have to flush some things and just keep going. I think it's mental, just different. You have more time in
The
football for
mental,
sure.
yeah. And what advice and insight would you give to younger athletes and kids in general about being able to play multiple sports at the collegiate level, but also what it takes to be able to do what you're currently doing now and just be able to maintain and like balance each sport on a daily basis, like knowing the playbook and then knowing your, I mean, defensive shifts or where you're supposed to be in the baseball field. How do you manage that?
Yeah, I would just say get good people around you. Obviously, my coaches, football and baseball, are awesome. They're always communicating with me. It's pretty simple when you just communicate. You're just always talking. If you're confused, you ask, and you'll never know until you ask. So I'm always communicating with them, and it's been pretty easy for
Mm-hmm.
knowing my stuff at least.
Mm-hmm. And when talking about recruitment, NAL deals, everything else in between, it can be a lot to handle, I'm sure, for any athlete. But I mean, you kind of touched on this before, but again, in your own words, what advice would you have to share with anyone wanting to take that next step to play a college sport? What they should be aware of? But is it also, would you say the most important thing is looking in terms of looking to where you want to play at a school? Would you say it's most important that you look for where you're valued most, or is there another kind of aspect that you'd include in something that's you think it's very important when it comes to that?
I think it's definitely important that you go somewhere where one, you're comfortable. Two, that if you weren't playing a sport, would you like it there? I think that's a big key. If you're enjoying where you are, then everything else will be a lot easier. And
Mm-hmm.
then third, if the coaches really like you, I think that's I think that's where you need to be because they have a vision for you. And I would go there, a smaller school like Northern Colorado, over somewhere bigger where they don't really want you. Because
Yeah.
really, at the end of the day, you want to just keep playing. That's the only way you're going to get better. So I would say go somewhere where you're going to see the field.
Mm-hmm. And when transitioning over to life off the field, what does a typical day look like for you during the season and the off season?
Um, it's kind of hard. We don't really have a big off season, but right now, summertime, wake up. Usually we have like an 8 or 9 a.m. lift. And after that, we have summer school for football. At least you got to be in some kind of summer class. So we'll do a little bit of
Mm-hmm.
homework. After that, we'll probably go get some more field work in. I go do receiver drills and stuff. That's typical day for the summer, really, just on repeat.
Mm-hmm. And when it comes to like in the off season, you say you got a lot more downtime. How are you able to kind of stay focused and stay in shape? Because I'm sure that a lot of athletes may slack off or kind of just wait until like the couple weeks before or whatever or however that goes. How do you maintain a mindset where you're like, I'm not going to slack off. Like this is the off season. I'm going to treat it just like if it were the during the season. I mean, how do you go about that?
Me personally, I just kind of get antsy.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I'm sitting too long, I just kind of think I'm like, we're gonna play some schools that I'm sure their guys are working right now.
Yeah.
It just kind of sits in the back of my head, and I just can't let myself sit around too much.
So it's just staying as active as possible, just whatever
Yeah,
that might be.
it's just you have that feeling where the season's coming up.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard not to
It's in
go
the
do
back of your
something.
head.
Yeah,
where
it's
you're
just
like, I know I shouldn't be watching television this right now. Like I can be out on the field doing training. Is that how you go about it?
yeah, it's just you feel it. If everyone talks about it, they're just like, I can't wait for the season just to get started, and
Mm-hmm.
you just don't want to be not ready. That's
Yeah,
just
that
my
because that's
feeling.
the worst.
Yeah,
Um, but also, I know we were talking about this a little before, but um, I know you're not 100% on a major, but what are you interested in still, major wise, and what possibilities, depending on your answer, what it might have in store for you in your future?
yeah, gotcha. I'm majoring in psychology right now,
Okay.
and I'm declared a minor in sports coaching. That's really what I want to do after sports. I just want to be a coach. I don't know. It's just I've always kind of liked helping others, and I can't see myself being fully away from either
Mm-hmm.
sports. I think that's just kind of the way my brain ticks. But
Mm-hmm. And would you say you're an athlete and individual that is a big community guy? Like you like to be in the community, giving back to the kids. Is that something you would say you pride yourself on?
yeah, I definitely have fun with it. We had a lot of things like that to do at Valor. We had a Dare to Play where we helped kids with Down syndrome play football. We always had the kid camps. Those were so much fun. We'd always have the little kids out there, and then you'd have
Yeah,
the school camps. I have a great time doing that stuff. I think it's really awesome. We had one up here last summer, so I love doing that. I just any opportunity really.
of course. And I like hearing about the camps they do with Down syndrome. I'm a special education major, so like that stuff like I like to hear, and I like they're just giving them a chance. Um, but also on the topic, how would you what do these kind of camps and like being able to interact with the kids and kind of giving back to the community, what does that teach you? Like what kind of lessons does it teach you as a person? And like these people are so excited to see me. Like I it's only right if I like bring that same energy. Like what does that taught you most? It's just about being in the community.
It just kind of it really makes me feel grateful because I remember being a kid younger and just seeing these college guys and thinking
Yeah.
they're the best thing in the world ever. And
Yeah.
I remember the older kids that were nicer to me and that really like made me want to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
And I always kind of remember that when I'm with the kids. Just you need to give them something. You gotta give them
Yeah.
a good time, and they'll remember this forever. Like I still do to this day. So it's just a really grateful feeling.
Mm-hmm. And previously mentioned before, you grew up in your hometown of Highlands Ranch, Colorado. First off, what was life like growing up there? But also your favorite places to go locally for food and entertainment.
Um, Really, I'm just a standard guy. I don't like going out much. I was just typical fast food over there. They have
Yeah.
Perry's Pizza. I love Perry's Pizza though. It's a good spot.
Hmm.
There's a lot of cool places over there. Me personally, I just don't get out much.
I mean, I can relate. I'm more of like, oh, like a Friday night. Are you more so like, oh, I'll just stay in and watch? Even if somebody's like, oh, you want to go out? You're like, I'm good. I'll just stay here. Is kind of what you do?
Yeah, I am definitely a homebody.
Hmm.
I I could do it sometimes, but for the most part, I'm reserved. I like to be home.
Yeah. And secondly, do you have any favorite memories or funny moments in particular growing up that you can remember that you'll never forget for life? Do you have any of those?
Yeah, I got a lot. I don't know if I could say them on the podcast for
What or
sure.
whatever you want to share. I mean,
Yeah, in sports or just in
I
general.
mean, just anything, just kind of like those just moments where like that guy I had on yesterday was talking about how his brother they like to kind of poke fun at their dad for being a Celtics fan. So they were diehard Sixers fans for that game and stuff, and just kind of like a rivalries. So, do you have any of those? Do you have any of those growing up? Do you do any of that?
Yeah, we have a lot. I can't say a lot of them on camera, but
No, that's
one
fine.
I
No, yeah.
remember is we had a travel ball has always been huge for baseball growing up.
Hmm.
And we went down to Florida with one of my teams, and I don't know what it was. We had a pretty funny room. We had, I think, like five guys to a room with two beds in there.
Oh, yikes.
We
That's
had guys on the floor. It was hilarious. And I don't know what it was. We were 14 years old, so
yeah, I mean,
we
yeah,
were
typical.
messing
Yeah.
around the whole night, and we were like freestyle rapping until like 4 in the morning. I don't know
Yeah.
why. And finally, we went to bed, and all of us forgot to set an alarm. And when we woke up, it was to like the banging on
Yeah.
our door.
I've had that before here when I student teach, and sometimes I'll um once a semester I'll do it and I wake up and then I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, I'm very unprofessional. I did not mean to do this. And my dad's like, you cannot do this and stuff. Like I know that feeling. Well,
It's terrible. And when we
yeah.
woke up, we had to like sprint, put our clothes on, hurry out to the van to like make it to the field.
Yeah.
And after we lost the game, and
Yeah.
our coach brought us to the beach because we were playing in Florida.
Hmm.
He was like, "You guys want to stay up late? All right, go ahead." And we ran. We just kept running on the beach for a while. And
Hmm.
after a while, we had the whole team freestyling while we were running.
Again.
Yeah, we were just dying laughing. It was a good team that year. It was really fun.
Course. And taking a deeper look into Northern Colorado, back on the athletics topic and its program as a whole, how would you best describe the program's identity when it comes to athletics, but also expand on what the program has to offer when it comes to providing for their student athletes off the field and supporting them in the classroom?
Gotcha. Yeah, I think everything about UNC is moving in the right direction. I think all the pieces are correct. They're trying to get the right people in there for sports, and they've always been a strong academic school. They have a great business school, great nursing program.
Mm-hmm.
We're definitely going the right direction. And being a student here has been awesome because each sport has a person dedicated to just your advisor. So they're helping you sign up for classes,
Mm-hmm.
helping you get through. You're meeting with them every single week, and they're just asking you, "Do you need help? Do you need this?" They're really focused on your academic success, and they're putting you in the right position to give you your success in sports as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just they have a lot of good people around here that are helping.
Mm-hmm. And at kind of adding on to that, how does that what does that do for you, for example, as a student athlete, to be able to have all those people around you and be in your corner? If you have any questions you can ask. I mean, what does that do for your confidence, I can imagine, but also kind of learning more about life as you grow up, because as you grow up there's more and more responsibilities that you don't
Yeah.
see as a kid, where it's just kind of like you're a kid and that's all you have to be. I mean, what does having those kind of people teach you about your life and just kind of maturing over time?
Yeah. I think for me, it's ask for help. In high school, I was too scared to ask for help. I felt like that wasn't just everyone else was doing it on their own, so I should
Mm-hmm.
do it on my own. But as I keep growing, I find out that there's so many people that can help you, and if you're struggling, just ask.
Yeah.
I think that's just kind of being vulnerable enough to ask for help and being able to say,
Advocating for
yes,
yourself.
yeah, I'm struggling. I need help. And I think just being able to communicate with the people around me has helped me a lot. And I think that's my growing point for sure.
Mm-hmm. And additionally, what does it mean to you personally, to be able to put on that Northern Colorado uniform each game, both in baseball and football, but also expand on what it means to be a Northern Colorado Bear, both on and off the field?
Gotcha. Every day I feel like it's a blessing because, at the end of high school, I thought my football career was done. I didn't know if I was going to play or not. So every day we come out here, it's just always talk to my mom. I just feel blessed, just always keeping that in mind. And to be a bear, I think it's fun because I feel like we're always the underdog. Even the professors here, I've had a few classes, they view us as the hardworking, like
Mm-hmm.
underclass. We're not going to the big schools paying a bunch of money, but we have big aspirations. And I think everyone's kind of similar. Everyone wants to do big things here. And I think it's a hardworking school in general.
Mm-hmm. And also, who or what do you represent and strive to play for whenever you're on the field? Is it your mom, your parents? I mean, who do you represent on that field with that last name on the back of your jersey?
Just my whole family. I always think about them. I have a pretty big family, so just
Mm-hmm.
always kind of keeping them in mind because they always support, especially my parents. They come to every single game. They don't miss anything. They're always there for me. It's just love my family. That's the biggest thing. I just want to represent them
Mm-hmm.
good enough as they've been to me my whole life. So
Yeah, of course. And well, on that subject, what do you learn kind of the most growing up to having with you having a big family? I mean, sure, with a lot of siblings and stuff, like you learn things here and here. I mean, here and there. I mean, what have you learned the most growing up? What have they given to you that you've used to your benefit going
yeah,
forward?
not so much of just what they say, but just seeing my parents' work ethic. Like I've seen them come from the bottom all the way up. I've seen them grow. And one thing that has always stuck with me, my mom told me when I was little, she said, if you want to be great at something, you have to do it every single day. And I,
Mm-hmm.
I, I remember that all the time. And I saw her put that into practice. And I just think their work ethic it was instilled when as soon as I came out. So that's what
Mm-hmm.
I take away.
And when talking about athletes in general, we kind of touched on this before, but who would you say was your favorite athlete growing up, as well as what about them or what they did inspire you the most to be just like them? Was it what you were saying before, or was there any other people that you drew the most inspiration from and you were like, I want to be just like that guy. I want to do what he does, stuff like that.
Definitely Bo Jackson. They did like I remember being in like sixth grade and they had a little ESPN 30 for 30 on them.
Mm-hmm.
And I would watch it every day. It
Yeah.
was they made him seem just kind of like a superhero in that thing, and I think that's really kind of what caught me. But growing up, my dad would always tell me before I go out on the football field or the baseball field, you just say, "Go be Bo," and
Yeah.
I was so pumped for me. He still tells me today to go do it, and I don't know. I was a big fan of him growing up forever.
Mm-hmm. And while on the topic, what is your mindset approach to college football and baseball, as well as what you do to be able to be productive at the college level, being 5'11"?
Um, I would say just hard work pays off. I always keep that in my mind. If I work hard enough, then no one's gonna ever catch up if I just keep going. And I think it's confidence too, just trusting that the work that I put in is going to pay off. And you don't have to be a monster. You don't have to have these
Mm-hmm.
crazy numbers to be a great player. And I've just kind of always kept that in my mind. And I just think those two combine hard work and confidence, and you can't stop it.
I mean, would that is that what you would say your advice would be to younger kids and athletes? Just touching on that point again, you don't like need to be like 7 foot or 6'8" to play a sport like basketball. Like it's more than that. Is that kind of the advice that you share to younger generations?
I would say just it's the hard work, it's mastering skills. That's really what sports are. It's athleticism and skills combined. And I think if you master those and just trust that everything that you do will pay off and you'll see the results come from it. You don't even need to focus on anything like that. Just put your head down, go to work, and everything will fall in place.
Mm-hmm. And starting with baseball, I see Colorado season is currently going on, and in the later stages of your regular season schedule, how would you summarize how the season has played out up to now, but also what you think you've improved the most on your overall game and just kind of getting back into baseball after kind of being away from it for so long?
Yeah. I think this season has kind of been some growing pains, you know.
Mm-hmm.
The program has struggled for the past few years, but I think we're taking a step in the right direction. We've played a lot of good games, a lot of good baseball, and I think we're getting there. It just takes some hard work, and for me personally, it's just dusting the cobwebs off. It's
Mm-hmm.
I have to get used to everything again. It's kind of like relearning the sport almost, but it's just keep coming back to the field every day, and everything will line up really.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, in addition to this, what would you say has changed the most about yourself? I mean, overall, since your first tryout to where you are now.
I think I have a lot more trust in myself. Uh, I think before I kind of would always kind of doubt myself. I'd be an in between guy,
Mm-hmm.
really just kind of like, can I do this? Can I not do this? Um, and currently it's just telling myself, you know how to do this. You don't need a second guess. Just put your best foot
Reassurance.
forward. Yeah. I have trust in myself now, and I think I'm in the most comfortable spot I've been, just trusting myself.
And how would you say that benefits you and translates over to when you're on the football field? Just having the confidence and knowing that I'm here for a reason. Like I'm not here off of like a lucky, I mean, luck of the draw or whatever. Like just knowing that you're there for a reason. And what does that do for you in terms of what you're able to do on the field?
Yeah. Uh, I mean, when I go out there, I see these guys are pretty big, and I think I just tell myself, like, I've worked hard enough to be here, and I know I can be here because I do it every day at practice. I play
Mm-hmm.
with those guys and I compete well. So I just tell myself, don't hold anything back. If you hesitate, then that's when you'll fail. So just go for it.
Mm-hmm. And transitioning like on that topic to the football field. This past season the team went 3-8 overall with a conference record of 2-6. First off, what were your thoughts about that season in its entirety, along with what you thought did and didn't go well for yourself and the team?
Again, I think it's the same thing. Growing pains, the football program has been down the past couple of years as well. So I think everything's going in the right direction, and we just have to stick to it. I don't think we need to abandon ship or anything. It's just
Mm-hmm.
nose to the grindstone, keep going. I think we got a lot of the right pieces,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's really going to help us going into this next season. We have a lot of guys that are just kind of learning, I guess, and I think that was the learning curve last year. And I think going
Mm-hmm.
into this year is going to just head full of steam, go for it.
And additionally, what would you say the identity of the team is as a whole? Like, do you have like a mantra? Is it this? Like, what do you guys kind of go by on a daily basis?
One thing that we break down it's just our goal, and it's just Big Sky champs. That's what we want to be at the end of the day. We don't care about anything else, but at the end of the season, we want to look back and be Big Sky champs.
Mm-hmm.
And
And oh yeah, what
no,
were you
yeah,
saying? No, of
no.
course. And I mean, when it comes to expectations, what can fans and others, supporters expect from yourself and the team going forward? I mean, you talked about it. You say you have the right pieces, just finding that team chemistry. What can they expect from you and what you guys have in store to show them going forward?
I think this is going to be a big year for us for sure. There still might be a little bit of growing pains trying to figure out. Obviously, we got a new coach again. Early in the season, it might take a little bit to roll. That's just the way things go. But I really think this is going to be a great year for us. I think we got a lot of the right people, and I think we're ready to go.
Mhm. And looking in the NIL world and opportunities, have you been involved with or had the chance to be a part of something so far or not?
No, nothing yet. I haven't really sent any emails out or anything. Just been focusing on the sport really, and I don't know. This is kind of new to me. I feel like it's kind of new to everyone. So I don't
Yeah.
know if I need to get my name out there or if it's just do what I do and it comes after that. So I don't know. I've definitely been looking into it more for sure though.
Yeah, I mean, do you have any like kind of specific brands or maybe even like a local business that you maybe want to be part of that has a
Absolutely.
meaning and it's not just kind of just doing it just to do it?
Yeah, I mean, we have this little Scooters coffee shop,
Mm-hmm.
and I swear I go there every morning. I show up, they see my truck,
Yeah.
and they'll just be like, "Do you want your cold or your hot drink? Do you want this?" And I'm like, they just know my order already. So I don't know. I really want to get one with them because I love their stuff. Everyone on the baseball team loves it too. They know I'm the Scooters fiend. But
Yeah. And additionally, while on the topic, you said like you've been talking about how it's kind of a new thing to you and a lot of guys. But do you have a personal outlook or your thoughts on NIL in its entirety, not only now but for the future of athletes and generations to come?
I think it's a game changer for sure. Just recruits getting players to go to certain programs. It's going to change college sports forever for sure.
Mm-hmm. And looking back into life off the field, kind of touched on this before, but how do you describe yourself on and off the field as an athlete and individual? Uh, but also what you pride yourself most on when it comes to life in general.
I would say I pride myself on being a hard worker. I'm a grinder. No matter what I do, sports or anything I do, I want to be the hardest worker. And I think always been my MO since I was young.
Mm-hmm. And additionally, where on campus at Northern Colorado would you say is the place to be, but also where you enjoy spending the most time at, other than the athletic facilities? Would you say that's the coffee shop, or are there any other places where you just like to do your work or anything like that?
Um, it's kind of bad, but I love uh, the training room.
I
That's still
mean, who
athletic
doesn't?
complex.
Who doesn't like the training room? Just
Yeah, I
sitting
mean,
there
if
getting
I'm
taped
not
up.
there, really, I'm home. So, there's a lot of cool places around campus. We have a lot of the library, super nice. They have a coffee shop in there too. But yeah,
Mhm.
really, I'm a homebody. I'll say it again.
Yeah, yeah, I totally understand. And I mean, I know you're still. I know you're. You say you're a homebody, but is there any place that you'd say is the best place to go for entertainment and good food in the city of Greeley, Colorado?
Definitely, Roma's over here in Greeley. It's really cool. They have fun pizza. There's always fun things to do. There's just, I mean, all your friends are there usually. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
the people you'll know are there. I think that's probably the most fun place in Greeley.
And what do you say is your go-to thing to get there? What do you get?
Really, just basic. It's a pizza place. I keep it
Yeah.
simple. I'll just get some pepperoni pizza, hang out, really.
Mm-hmm. And well, on the topic of life off the field, what do you like to do to just be able to take your mind off of football and baseball when you aren't playing, practicing, or training? If you're able to find that time in your busy schedule.
Yeah, I really just like to hang out, watch some TV. My roommates are also receivers.
Mm-hmm.
I really just hang out. We'll have fun. We'll play some video games together. I really just like to hang out with some friends, talk to my parents, really. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
nothing too
And
crazy.
would you say you guys ever watch film together at home at night? Do you guys ever kind of learn to, like kind of give each other advice? Do you guys do
Yeah.
that a lot?
Like every night. We watch a lot of NFL highlights. We love doing that. We love watching college highlights. After practice, we'll watch film,
Mm-hmm.
but more so just like watching highlights together. Like we do it every night. I don't know why, but
Yeah.
sit on the couch and just turn on like Kadarius Tony highlights, and we'll go nuts.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Of course. And while on that subject still, What do you feel is most important to be aware of and like be able to acknowledge when it comes to watching film? I mean, what's the most important thing you feel is when you're watching film?
Mm, I would say just being honest with yourself. It's kind of look at it from a coach's perspective. That's what I do. Because at the end of the day, they're gonna write who's playing and who's not. So, um, I think the first step is analyzing what you're doing and how you can do it better. And after you've gone through and done that, I would go watch it again and watch the defense and seeing defenders' techniques.
Mm-hmm.
Because then after that, that's going to help you. You're going to see how you can manipulate them, I guess, if that's a bad word to
Yeah.
say. I don't know.
No,
But
yeah, that's okay.
yeah, I would say look at yourself first and then go back, rewatch it, and see what they're doing to stop you or what they're doing that they can't stop you. So,
Mm-hmm. And when talking about accomplishments, what is something out the field you're most proud of yourself for, whether that be academically, socially, or something different?
um, I think something I'm proud of and my mom's pretty proud of,
Mm-hmm.
but I could kickflip on a skateboard.
Oh, nice.
But when I was younger, like I don't know why, but I just couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I skateboarded every day for about 2 years
Mm-hmm.
and I could never kickflip, but that was my goal every single day.
Yeah.
And after like, I don't know how long, finally I landed it. And I don't know why. That's a big accomplishment for me.
Yeah, of
So I
course.
can
I
still do it to this day. And it's like riding a bike now. So it's fun.
mm-hmm. And when it comes to being an athlete, what's your biggest lesson or kind of the most important thing you're able to learn just about yourself as a whole, being an athlete versus if you were to not play sports? What is something you feel like you wouldn't have experienced if you weren't to be the athlete that you are now?
I would say one, you kind of take yourself into like the deep end of your mind, really, because with football, we have weights and I think it gives you a challenge and you get to see who you are. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Things get tough and you kind of see how you react to it, just kind of how life is. And two,
Mm-hmm.
you kind of figure out how, I mean, in a team sport at least, with football and baseball, you figure out how to work with people. And you always remember the people who worked hard and
Mm-hmm.
gave it their all. Like you remember those guys and you'll never forget it and you'll respect them way more. So I think it's just kind of you get to find out who you are and you get to find out who other people are and you see how you interact with them. And I think it's really fun.
Would you say that that really benefits individuals when it comes to later in life, like working at like any kind of job? Would you say that's most important, like prepares you
Absolutely.
for?
Absolutely. I don't really know what I would do if I wasn't playing sports. I don't know how I'd view myself, but I don't know. I think you need to be challenged every single
Mm-hmm.
day. And I feel like sports just does that for you. And later in life, when you're working a job or whatever, you're gonna remember you're like, oh, I can do this. I just gotta keep pushing.
Of course. And when taking a look in the next level, such as the NFL, even as well as the MLB, if you were asked by a scout or coach what you're capable of, we can add to a roster, but also why they should look into you specifically. How would you respond to that? What kind of athlete individual would they be getting out of you? A hard worker? I mean, anything else besides a hard
Yeah,
worker?
yeah, definitely would start off with that. I would say I'm a hard worker, but I also think I'm a plus athlete. I think I could do a lot of stuff that a lot of people can't. Um, I think I have plus speed and more so, I think the best thing I can bring for football at least is quickness. My lateral speed is second to none, really.
Yeah,
I know right now. And for baseball, I think I'm a plus athlete. And I think the best thing that I've carried with me is I'm coachable. Whatever the coaches need, I'm a ball player. I really just, what they need, I can do. And that's just kind of how I've carried myself all through sports as I've been playing.
So what do you'd say you're a team first guy? Always put
Yeah,
the team first, of
whatever. Yeah,
course.
whatever they need me to do. Honestly, just however they coach me, I can do it. But
Yeah, of course. And I mean, you talked about this before. Saying and talking about how your family has um really meant the most to you in your life growing up. But while on that subject, what kind of advice that you've gotten in your life so far you feel has stuck to you the most?
I would definitely say, just repeat it. What my mom told me is, if you want to be good or great at something, then you need to do it every day. And I've kind of always remembered that. Even off days, I can't really have an off day.
Mm-hmm.
It's just I get antsy and I'm like, well, I want to do this and I have to do it every single day or I'll lose it.
Putting your mind to it, putting your mind and body to things,
Absolutely. Yeah.
of course. And when it comes to off the field, what is something you want to be able to advocate and use your platform to advocate for?
Mm, I would definitely say um, Christianity, my faith. I want to spread that just because I really believe that it's the truth. And
Mm-hmm.
I think if you can help spread the word, that it really helps a lot of people. I want people to be happy in this life. I really want them to feel loved. And I feel like in a time like now, a lot of people don't feel that.
Yeah.
Really just want to spread love, to be honest.
And when your collegiate career eventually comes to an end, how do you want to be remembered most for during your time at Northern Colorado?
After I'm gone, I definitely want to be noted as one of the best athletes to ever come through.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to be a guy that comes back. Obviously, I want to give back. I want this program to be better. Everywhere I go, I want to leave it better
Lasting
than it was.
impact.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm. And additionally, you kind of talked about this in terms of ultimate goals and missions to fulfill and achieve before your time in Northern Colorado comes to an end in the football aspect. But what about the baseball aspect? What's one mission or kind of goal that you really want to be able to achieve and look back on it being like, I did that before your career wraps up baseball wise?
yeah. Same thing. I want to be one of the best players to ever come through. Both sports. That's huge, but I really want to contribute. I want obviously when you win, program gets more money. So I really want to help contribute to we're in the Summit League for baseball. I want to be a Summit League champ as well. I just really want to leave both programs a lot better for the future, obviously. And there's more money, it's better equipment, better stuff, and then from there you get better recruits, and then you get a better program, obviously. So I just want to be a part of that foundation that really kind of starts things for this university.
Course. And last question: when things are all said and done, what do you think you'll miss most about being in college, having the opportunity to not only play football at Division I FCS level, but also having the opportunity to play Division I baseball at the same time?
I think I'm gonna miss the people a lot, to be honest. I'm gonna miss my roommates. I'm gonna miss my teammates. A lot of people you won't ever see again after sports, but you get to meet a lot of unique people, and it's really fun. So I think I'm just gonna miss all the people I have around me here.
Of course. And once again, Zain Zinicola, Northern Colorado wide receiver and baseball infielder. Zain, once again, really appreciate you taking the time tonight and wish you nothing but the best going forward.
Of course, thank you for having me.
Of course.